Hello, friends. It's Chapo.
So they just end up like poor Jane Goodall is like, yeah, we're seeing biodiversity destroyed. She ends up just all she can really say is, hey, we're all of us impact the planet every day, and
Keep
and
raising awareness.
we can raise awareness, and we can make our little. And it's like, yeah, it's like that's not true, but also, what else could you say at that point? I'm 85 years old. Leave me alone. She was literally drinking whiskey during the entire interview.
Oh.
So it's like that one was just kind of sad. That's one where Chelsea was beamed in remotely to an interview, and it looked and felt exactly the same. The energy in the room was exactly the same.
Kind of like a Marvel movie, right? Like there's no weight
exactly.
or appreciation for space.
Yep. I'd say that the one that was probably most cringe-inducing was probably episode 6, Gutsy Women Step Up, which is an extended visit to the Amber Ruffin writing room.
Oh, man.
Does anyone know that show?
That show is like, that is, okay, so every time I've seen a clip posted from this show that is ostensibly a late night comedy, it is just like a monologue that like usually pretty thoroughly references like history and discrimination, stuff like this, but just I've never seen a single joke from that show. I've seen multiple segments, both monologues and like sketches, and it just like, it is the most, they don't use a live studio audience, or at least on the clips I've seen, which is interesting because it is just dead silence. It seems to be like the most humorless dictum, like in such a weird format for that.
Like it makes Rachel Maddow look like a cut up.
Every punchline is like, you got your mansplaining and your manspreading.
Oh, that's all right. I guess I missed some A material.
Matt, what's the episode where they hang out with Goldie Hawn and Kate Hudson?
That's the last episode. But so the Ruffin episode, it's them trying to get Hillary and Chelsea to be funny, like write jokes and perform.
They already
them
tried that on this show. It failed.
And it's like it didn't work. It's failed. It's awful. They're both terrible. Of course, Chelsea is Hillary is hilariously stiff. Chelsea is just not
absent.
There. Then episode 7 is Gutsy Women Take Leaps, which is another one that is very nauseating. They go back to Arkansas. They go back to Little Rock, where the family made their name. Of course, for the first time since they left the government. Because why would they stay?
Visit all of Bill's victims.
Did they visit the airstrip where all the drug trafficking went down?
Yeah.
They
went to Manor.
Are there slaves still waiting there, like Huel?
It was pretty gross because Chelsea's like, I loved growing up in Little Rock. And it's like, really? When was the last time you were there? How often do you visit? Like I'm sure you were going here if this show wasn't around. Fuck off. So they go to Little Rock, and she sits down with 2 of the Little Rock 9 who integrated Little Rock Central High School in 1959. And this is another one where it's like you want to puke. And so they talk about like their struggle and how they stood up and they stood out and they risked everything and they struggled to get an education. And Hillary's like, I was living in Chicago in an all-white suburb, and I saw on television those little girls, and I was inspired by their bravery, and they made me aware of the world outside of my town, and that there were people who were making things happen. And then you responded to that by going door to door for Barry Goldwater in 1964, whose entire campaign was like opposition to the Civil Rights Act.
She didn't say she had a positive reaction to that.
Yeah, I was inspired. Inspired to what, Hillary? When you saw the integration of that school, what were you inspired to do?
Fight against integration.
Yeah,
literally is what she did.
Forms.
And again, she's got to like smile at these women and bullshit them. Like, I was so inspired by you. Yeah, I bet you were, Hillary. I bet you were inspired. You're inspired to do something.
Yeah.
You're inspired to go on the AUH2O train. Come on. Get out of here.
Like, okay, so what is the hook that puts them in a room with Goldie Hawn and Kate Hudson? Because this is the only other
That's
thing.
That's the last episode.
This show.
Gutsy Women are a bunch of mothers, and it's just a bunch of mother-daughter combos. It's mother-daughter combinations and talking to mothers and their daughters who do different things. Some of them have businesses. Some of them do activism. And, of course, there's some more celebs, because we got to have the celebs. That's one of the things that keeps them alive is proximity to celebrity. So they drain some life force out of Kate Hudson and Goldie Hawn, and they just have a nice old wine o'clock evening. It's fun.
I think Goldie Hawn may be the only Republican she's talked to in this entire series.
Yeah,
Mothers and daughters.
Presumably she's like relatively chill. It'd be funny if she was into QAnon and they bring her on to Gutsy, and then she's just like, let's talk about the basements. Let's talk about the dungeons, Hillary.
Well, I have you
what
here,
happened
Hillary.
to Seth Rich?
Mothers and daughters is an interesting choice. I mean, obviously, that's what they got. That's what they're going to do. But, often one of nature's most horrifying pairs of natural enemies, mothers and daughters.
Oh, absolutely.
That's certainly the relationship that Hillary and Chelsea seem to have.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. I think that, I'm excited to see what they do with the Chelsea lifestyle, women's lifestyle brand attempt. Because I'm very interested by the world of women's lifestyle influencers. I think that they fill this very interesting sort of unprecedented space in media where it's sort of bifurcated where some of them, the point is that they're perfect. They do everything perfect. They are homemakers and chefs and everything.
They're aspirational.
That is impossible. Martha Stewart's one of those kind of, I think. The hook with Martha Stewart is you could never do this. She's the fucking best at it. And
she has a whole team of gays around her acting as little elves.
The women watching her always kind of hate her for it. And that's kind of the point. But you also learn a lot. But then there's sort of the new breed, which is the more internet born ones, where the point is that they suck. Has Catherine ever shown you any YouTube influencers she likes? Because if you're ever shown those by a romantic partner, I've been shown 6 or 7, and the point that all it is just this one's boyfriend's gay and they hate each other. This one dresses like an asshole. This one's depressed.
Or I'm a drunk
to
bitch.
know it. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if Catherine shares her YouTube influencers with me, but what she will do is share her Instagram Discover page, which is mostly videos of bot flies being pulled out of people's feet.
Oh, that's good stuff. That's good. That's good watching. Come on.
Also, lizards being peeled.
They take off the toenails. They got all the encrusted.
Will got so mad at me the other night. He was just showing me videos of cats, and I was like, let's mosey on to my Discover page on Instagram, and it was I'm going to forget the term now, but the anal glands on a dog when there are 3 of them just being popped, one of those toys from Toy Story.
I love that women have their own goatsy and tub girls. It's amazing.
It's goatsy for girls.
Yeah, I think that Chelsea, I don't know if they'll do this way, probably not, but I do think Chelsea has a future as an influencer that you pity, which seems to be half of them. It seems to be that half of them exist, so they're just objects village dunces.
Well, I mean, look, I don't know where to wrap this one up here. I'm probably gonna actually based on your description, Matt, I kind of feel like I have a really perversely drawn to finish watching this TV series.
Yeah, I hope
they do a second season.
You don't have to watch all of them. I'd say the nature one is pretty boring, but the one when they go to Arkansas is something. And you got to have fun with Goldie and the gals.
It sounds like a Freudian case study,
it's
the whole show.
Right? It's definitely some sort of coded criminal confession too. That's for sure.
I don't know about you guys, but my physical after effects of watching this, I woke up 4 times in my sleep last night.
She's in your house right now.
Yeah, she's just holding a knife and going, "Isn't this just amazing? It's so sharp."
This is incredible.
Oh, man.
Wow.
It'd be funny if you got haunted by Chelsea and you just literally never knew. A local psychic comes over to visit. And he's like, "Oh my God, this is the most infested house I've ever been in." It's really interesting. I never noticed.
She's just been standing in the corner the whole time. You didn't even feel the coldness of a ghost presence.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's it for this episode. But if you really, come and see TV, run, don't walk to watch Gutsy on Apple TV. An astonishing program. I mean,
it's something.
It's jaw dropping.
And gentlemen, it was gutsy of you to have this gal on the pod. So thank you.
Absolutely.
We're gonna do a 6-part Apple Plus series now about the making of this episode.
touring around town and just talking to gals going their own way.
We're gonna play hacky sack with Jenna Elfman.
I will be the first to say it's my gutsy pleasure.
Thank you.
Did you notice, did you notice, by the way, in the middle episodes, Hillary kept saying gutsy like she was getting B-roll and then just stopped. I personally enjoyed that.
It was a real turning to my date saying, "Look, that's gutsy." Moment throughout.